So the journey of real life, it all started with a dream and a call from God. And we began to think, man, what if God moved in our hearts and we started a life-giving church here in the Kansas City area that would attract people that are far from God to find their purpose in life in Jesus. So my name is Sean Petrie, and this is our story. The call of God began to brew in my heart back in 2013. I was on a trip to Bogota, Colombia, South America, just serving alongside an awesome life-giving church on a mission trip. And just God began to move, and I began to ask this question, and just was so unsettling just in my heart. But the question was, what if there was a life-giving church planted here in the United States? What could God do through a life-giving church? And what does that mean? It's a life-giving church. What if there's a church that were to be for the unchurched people? Like, what if there's a church for my family members who don't know Jesus, a church for your friends, a church for people you work with every day that don't know God, a church that attracted those people, a church that loved on them, a church that just showed them their purpose? What would that church look like? You know, what a church that was exposed people to their God-given gifts, their talents, they find their significance in Jesus, and they use that to multiply and reproduce disciples, reproduce the things of God in their daily lives. Like, what if there's a church that was fun, a church that was attractional, a church that was so passionate about Jesus that it changed everything. It changed the way we worship, it changed our generosity, it changed our words, it changed who we were on the inside out. That was the vision that God gave me on that trip. In real life, that was the answer, the fruition of a call that God began in my heart in 2013. The Bible says in John 12:24 that unless a seed dies, it cannot bear fruit. And so for us, we knew launching into this season of creating a life-giving church, there were things inside of ourselves, inside of me, inside of my wife Diane, that we had to let go of, release, and really end certain things. And so we sold a duplex, we refinanced our house, began to reallocate our time and our energy and focused on planting this church. And it all began back in November. We started our first launch meeting with a small group of people that we were connected to, and began to plan out the church and what it looked like, its purpose, its values, how we're going to be a life-giving church. And so a group of 10 of us met in my basement, began to pray and ask God to use us to build this incredible life-giving church called Real Life. We had no idea what God was about to do.